Namaskar and welcome to this special presentation. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. A time of conflict is not easy for anyone, not for those leading the fight on the ground, neither for those at work or at home scrambling for information and updates. It is natural to be anxious about what is going to happen next. So in this program, we'll take a step back, reflect on the conflict as it unfolds, understand the facts, protect ourselves from propaganda, and while we're doing so, find ways to be calm in these testing times. Shall we begin? Amidst the smoke and chaos of conflict, it is easy to lose track of where it started and the direction in which it is headed. On April 22nd, Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, terrorists gunned down 26 people. Most of them were Indian tourists. A terror group called the Resistance Front, TRF, claimed responsibility for the attack. TRF is a shadow group of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Toiba. On May 7th, Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. These actions were focused, measured and non-escalatory in nature. No Pakistani civilian or military facilities were targeted. India demonstrated considerable restraint in selection of targets and method of execution. Now, these words are important to remember: focused, measured and non-escalatory. India does not seek a wider conflict. It is Pakistan who then escalated the conflict on the intervening night of 7th and 8th of May, targeting India's military installations across multiple cities. India's air defense foiled those attacks. It also intensified cross-border firing. India had to retaliate with similar force, and the targets neutralizing air defense facility of Lahore in Pakistan. Now, since then, tit-for-tat military actions have followed. Now, why am I taking you through this all over again? To emphasize the point that Pahalgam terrorist attack on 22nd April is the original escalation, a point reiterated by India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri.
Our intention has not been to escalate matters. We are only responding to the original escalation, as I said, and our response has been targeted, precise, controlled and measured. Only no military targets have been selected. Only terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan has been hit.
Another domain that Pakistan seeks to create divisions and confusion is religion. It claimed that India targeted religious places in Pakistan, a claim that has been rejected by India.
Pakistan has also claimed that India deliberately attacked religious sites. This is completely false again, and it is in fact Pakistan that is misusing religious sites as a cover to in fact radicalize, direct and indoctrinate and train terrorists.
It were the terrorists, in fact, who chose their victims on the basis of religion. They killed the Hindu men among the tourists. But before you think their loyalty lies with any one faith, they also killed a Muslim local who tried to protect the innocent tourists. In that sense, the target of the terrorist was also the social fabric and religious diversity of India. Now, even in death, these terrorists are treated like heroes in Pakistan. You can see these visuals from Muzaffarabad and Muridke, where terrorists were wrapped in Pakistan's national flag, given full ceremonial funerals. Pakistan officers in uniform attended the funeral of terrorists who were neutralized by India's pinpoint strikes under Operation Sindoor. And now let's expand the scope of our conversation, talk about the relationship between Pakistan and terrorism. Pahalgam terror attack is not an exception. It is in fact part of Pakistan's asymmetric war against India for over 3 decades.
Pakistan's terror landscape is a complex network of terror groups, state actors and covert alliances. Outfits like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Pakistani Taliban or the TTP continue to operate across the country's heartland and border regions despite global scrutiny. Despite international pressure, these organizations remain active. Lashkar-e-Taiba blamed for the 2008 Mumbai attacks, and Jaish-e-Mohammed behind the 2019 Pulwama bombing allegedly enjoy safe havens in Punjab and Sindh. Meanwhile, the Pakistani Taliban is resurging, launching deadly strikes from the volatile Afghanistan border. Intelligence sources suggest Pakistan's spy agency, the ISI, has long used these groups as regional proxies. Now let's connect Pakistan's terror network dots. Pakistan's ISI has provided funding and safe havens to LET, JEM and Afghanistan's TTP for long. There are less mainstream actors as well in Pakistan's terror networks such as the Haqqani network, which operates as a semi-autonomous ISI extension along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. The Islamic State Khorasan, ISIS-K, is another outfit. It emerged from the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan defectors with operational bases in eastern Afghanistan and Pakistan's tribal areas. The Harkatul Mujahideen also functions as a specialized recruitment pipeline for Pakistani proxy groups, maintaining extensive networks within Pakistan's religious seminary system, with over 60% of recruits channeled to LET and JEM operations. Pakistan's relationship with terrorist organizations goes beyond allegations. It is documented through concrete evidence, defector testimonies, international intelligence assessments, and financial tracking, where over 45,000 lives have been lost since 1990. Grey-listed by FATF from 2008 to 2010, 2012 to 2015, and 2018 to 2022. Failure to dismantle terror financing networks internationally recognized. Former President Musharraf openly admitted to training terrorists for Kashmir ops. Former PM Nawaz Sharif confirmed state support for terrorist groups. Pakistan's current Foreign Affairs Minister recently put his country in dock. Pakistan's Foreign Minister admitted it has been doing dirty work for Western powers for long. Islamabad denies any official support, yet global watchdogs and UN agencies continue to flag terror financing channels operating from major cities like Karachi and Lahore. As tensions rise across South Asia, experts warn unless dismantled, this terror maze could tip the region into deeper instability. For now, the Hydra-headed monster remains intact and dangerously active. Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
And now let's bust some fake news propaganda. A barrage of coordinated disinformation has been carried out by certain social media handles, particularly in Pakistan, with the sole objective to instill fear among the Indian masses. The Press Information Bureau has debunked the claims of an explosion at the Jammu Air Force Base being made in several social media posts. As per the fact check, the image being circulated that you can see on your screens is an old one. The image is completely unrelated to the Jammu Air Force Base and is in fact from Kabul airport blast in August of 2021. The PIB's fact check unit also refuted a false claim of an attack on Gujarat's Hazira port by Pakistan. In the social media post, the fact check unit clarified that this is an unrelated video confirmed to depict an oil tanker explosion. The video is dated, again, 2021. It has also urged people to not share such videos. And here's another fake video of drone strikes from Jalandhar is being widely circulated on social media. This is an unrelated video of a farm fire. The video has a time of 7:39 p.m. when the drone attack, in fact, began much later. Let's now turn attention to the latest developments in the ongoing Indo-Pak conflict. Pakistan armed forces launched multiple attacks using drones and other munitions along India's western border on the intervening night of 8th and 9th of May. Indian Army shared a video and said Pakistan troops also resorted to numerous ceasefire violations along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. The drone attacks were effectively repulsed and befitting reply was also given to the ceasefire violations.
9 मई 2025 की मध्य रात्रि को पाकिस्तानी सेना ने सैन्य बुनियादी ढांचे को निशाना बनाने के इरादे से पूरी पश्चिमी सेना पर भारतीय वायु क्षेत्र का कई बार उल्लंघन किया। यही नहीं बल्कि पाकिस्तानी सेना ने नियंत्रण रेखा पर भारी कैलिबर वाले हथियारों से गोलीबारी भी की। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सीमा और नियंत्रण रेखा पर लेह से लेकर सर क्रीक तक 36 स्थानों पर 300 से 400 लगभग ड्रोनों का इस्तेमाल घुसपैठ का प्रयास करने के लिए किया गया। भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने काइनेटिक्स व नॉन काइनेटिक साधनों का उपयोग करके इनमें से कई ड्रोन्स को मार गिराया।
India's defense forces have successfully neutralized missile and drone attack targeted by Pakistan in key areas of Jammu, Satwari, Samba, Arispura and Arnia. According to defense sources, the attack was repelled with 0 casualties, showcasing India's robust defense preparedness and real-time operational readiness. The Border Security Force, BSF, successfully foiled a major infiltration attempt along the international boundary in Jammu and Kashmir Samba district. The incident occurred in the intervening night of 8th and 9th of May. An infiltration attempt by a big group of terrorists had been which was detected by surveillance grid. At least 7 terrorists have been killed, caused extensive damage to the Pakistan post Dandar.
Later in the night, an armed UAV of Pakistan attempted to target Bhatinda military station, which was detected and neutralized. In response to the Pakistani attack, armed drones were launched at 4 air defense sites in Pakistan. One of the drones was able to destroy an AD radar. Pakistan also carried out artillery shelling across the line of control using heavy caliber artillery guns and armed drones at Tangdhar, Uri, Poonch, Mendhar, Rajouri, Akhnur and Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir area, which resulted in some losses and injuries to Indian Army personnel. Pakistan Army also suffered major losses in Indian retaliatory fire.
Let's get some updates from the ground. DD India correspondent Amritpal Singh joins us live from Chandigarh. Amrit, significant escalations reported last night. What is the latest on the evolving situation that you can share with us?
Well, as both the wing commander and Colonel Qureshi briefed the media that 300 to 400 drones were sent, they tried to send 300 to 400 drones inside India, right from Leh down to Gujarat. Targeting multiple locations, and one armed UAV attacking the Bhatinda military station. Remember, the 10 Corps is stationed, or 10 Corps of the Indian Army is stationed at Bhatinda. Udhampur came under attack. Udhampur is the headquarters of the Northern Command. So clearly, Pakistan trying to attack military installations apart from civilian targets in various cities. About 36 odd cities were targeted. Though they were neutralized by the Indian air defense systems, but Pakistan has escalated this heavy mortar and artillery firing going on in Uri, in Kupwara, in Tangdhar, in Mendhar, in Sundar. So clearly, Pakistan is attacking not just military installations, but also civilian areas of residential areas in India. And of course, as the Foreign Secretary said, leading a misinformation campaign. That's Indian Army itself, which is hitting targets in Amritsar and in Nankana Sahib across the border, trying to create a communal fissure or trying to find fault lines on communal lines which don't exist. I'm right now standing in the capital of Punjab, and I can tell you on the ground, from the ground, that of all the people that I've spoken to, nobody is ready to buy this, what the Foreign Secretary termed as deranged fantasy of the Pakistani establishment. Here, it's not cutting ice. They're looking for fissures that don't exist in the first place here. And so they are employing both military tactics and IW tactics of information warfare in this fight against India, clearly on the escalatory ladder, Shabendu.
Also, Amrit, you mentioned you're in Punjab. Could you give us an overview of the preparedness maintained in the border states by India?
Well, the border states are completely prepared. The civil defense drills are on. In fact, the Chandigarh administration asked for volunteers above 18 years to come and volunteer for civil defense blackouts in areas in Amritsar, Gurdaspur, Chandigarh, Bathinda, including in Srinagar, Udhampur are being affected. Every 7 p.m. is a blackout, and accordingly, if required more blackouts are there. The Prime Minister today spoke with the Gujarat Chief Minister and assessed the civil preparedness there. So there is a military preparedness, there is a civil defense preparedness. The citizenry is being sensitized to how to respond. The Punjab government today has decided to order more drones and buy more drones to see that its 532-kilometer long border is secured. These are surveillance drones. So both the establishments, commercial establishments, government buildings, they've been asked to switch off lights, including ATM, banks, etc. in the night. For example, in Chandigarh, the Chandigarh administration has issued that all commercial establishments, including shops, malls, etc., will be closed from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. So all that in terms of civil and, of course, the military and the paramilitary forces, including the BSF and the CISF, which guards high-value targets in India, is on high alert. Shubhendu.
Amritpal, thank you for joining us with those updates. And to continue our conversation on the ongoing conflict, joining us is a defense expert, retired Lieutenant General Rajiv Chopra. Good evening and welcome, General Chopra. If you could give us your assessment of the direction in which these escalations seem to be headed.
Jain viewers, now my assessment is at the moment also Pakistan is testing waters how much it can escalate. It is not a war scenario at the moment. It is still at the skirmishes stage. The skirmishes are taking place all along the borders to see how are our air defense missile systems functioning. Basically, there were drone attacks, some missile attacks, what they're testing waters. They are firstly doing surveillance and secondly trying to see how much our air defense preparedness is there. And what they have seen and found that all across the entire drone systems have been destroyed and very or no or minimal damage has been caused. What is more important, that they are targeting the civil areas and also some religious space like the Gurdwara and the churches so that they can bring in the communal disharmony. But let me tell you, the way we are handling the situation, the information campaign of Pakistan, the fake news, the propaganda warfare or the psychological warfare is unimaginable. We are on daily basis, the Foreign Secretary along with the reps of the Army and the Air Force are briefing on the situation. And let me tell you, India is a country, secular country, which is unity in diversity. All the communal, there is no communal differences, and we'll rise to the occasion that nothing will happen. No, this is a weak man's or this targeting civil areas is not of any professional army. It is a weak army. As you are aware, they want to beat India by 1,000 cuts. First they did at the low-cost option, which is the low-intensity conflict, or by spreading terrorism. Now they are trying to spearhead the communal riots in India.
And General Chopra, does this hybrid nature of conflict make it more complex, one that is fought on the ground, in the air, but also online through these propaganda content that you shared?
Yeah. Like we are saying, today is a hybrid warfare scenario. It is a contact warfare or the kinetic warfare or a non-kinetic warfare, where the cyber warfare is one tool which the nations employ, and the second very important tool is the information campaign. This Pakistan, by information campaign, want to bring communal disharmony in India and also wants that the morale of the Indian forces and also of the civilians bring down so that they play their narrative. Let me tell you, we are handling the information campaign very well. We are on the top of the information campaign and we have various measures. And my message to the citizens of India is they should only trust the government channels and the sources which are authenticated. They should not look at the media, the social media platforms. And as the army, we've always been saying, before committing anything, you must check, recheck, re-recheck. So my advice to all the citizens is, before any forwarding of any social media where a fake news is circulating, you must check or curb it and even desist the people who are circulating it.
Right, thank you for putting it so lucidly. Thank you for putting it so lucidly, sir. The objective of this program is also the same. Moving on, the MEAPC that happened a short while ago, it elaborated on certain irresponsible tactics used by Pakistan. They're using civilian flights, Pakistani civilian flights, as a shield near the border area, which is a no-fly zone.
What is happening? See, firstly, they struck all along the borders and they knew we are going to retaliate. And in retaliation, if we could have targeted any civil aircraft, it would have been a big media campaign by them. They would have said the Indian Army is targeting civil areas, civil aircrafts, and it would have brought the focus of the international community is there. But let me tell you, we, like even in the strikes where we struck their terror camps, we exercised restraint both in timings. We had the strikes at 1 o'clock where there's no civil movement, and our choosing of the timing was there so that there's no collateral damage, and we are not firing in any of the border villages on the civil areas. Similarly, what they want to say, a weak nation, they want to target the soft targets, and they are prepared to sacrifice the aircrafts and the civilians so that by mistake, even if we fire, when the guns are open, they can do anything, and if a civil aircraft is there, they'll make a lot of propaganda campaign, hue and cry that India has targeted a civil plane. And like always said, we have closed all our civil airports in the forward areas and made them as a no-flying zone. Every day the advisory is coming that please cancel your ticket. These airports are unoperational because one, they're being targeted by the Pakistan, and secondly, these are required for our operations. Therefore, the Pakistan deliberately didn't do it because they want to use the civil aircraft as a shield to bring bad name to India. But India at each stage has exercised restraint. We are a responsible nation. Even in the security ladder, we are going to dominate and be on top. But our best efforts will be not to harm any civil targets, and where the world is involved. Even in the Navy space, in the Arabian Sea, we are only establishing a blockade the ships which are carrying Pakistan flags. The others are being allowed to come in except for the FOLs or fuel oil lubricants, because we know that is a war fighting thing, and if we have the war endurance will increase of Pakistan if they keep getting the supply of weapons. Like there was a news that there was a aircraft and a ship coming from Turkey, and the drone which has been detected has the traces to Turkey. Therefore, we need to carry out a blockade of the naval space so that any war-type material doesn't enter into Pakistan.
Now, General Chopra, it has been reiterated that the beginning of the series of escalation has been the Pahalgam terror attack. What we're seeing now is a certain kind of military-to-military exchanges taking place. Now, what happens to India's short-term and long-term fight against terrorism?
See, what happens is we have been bleeding through the terrorists throughout the last almost 30-35 years. They are using this as a strategic weapon, as a below the threshold of the conventional level, sub-conventional warfare, or as we call the low-intensity warfare, where the enemy or the terrorist is among the people and they always remain in a denial mode. This is one way to bleed our nation. But now we have been, for quite some time, we have been we crossed the threshold in 2016 after the Uri attack. We had surgical strikes all along the borders to send a message that you have crossed a red line. We retain the capability to target your terror camps. After that, the deterrence remained for 3-4 years, and in 2019, they struck a CRPF convoy where 40 Jawans were there. And we had the Balakot, where the air was first time penetrated to bring the terror camp down. But this time, what you have seen, we have increased the threshold level, and it is an integrated joint operation by the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, using all instruments of state power to curb the terror threat from the Pakistanis. Anywhere in the world, wherever the terror strikes are there, the strings are being brought back to Pakistan. Therefore, this is the beginning to the end, so that again and again the terrorists don't strike India. We need to bring a permanent solution to this problem, so that the deterrence is there, and the Pakistan as a nation should realize that it has to undo the terror camps and live in peace, harmony, which is good for them, for the economic development and the growth of India both, and both nations have to live in peace.
Okay, on that note, Lieutenant General Rajiv Chopra, thank you very much for joining us in the program and sharing your perspective. With that, we conclude the special presentation. We will be back soon again to decode this ongoing conflict and disentangle, try to, the facts from the propaganda. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay calm. Namaskar.